So I have all my stuff in my project panel. All right, remember, you would want to start off, or you could edit your existing Premiere file, but I just imported I have my final video. I couldn't find my character animator project I really would have liked to have done that because then I could have separated the audio and because right now the music, when I cut it, is going to be cut off at some point. So here is my my original MP4 file. So that's going to play through. This doesn't have my walk sequence in it. So that's where you guys would kind of start. I think this trying to always show you the easier way to do things and quickest. So I would just take my MP4 file, drag it onto my timeline. All right. Then I'm going to try to scroll through and find where I want to insert my walk sequence. All right. You may have it at the end. You may have it at the beginning. It's really up to you as far as how it fits into your project. I'm going to zoom in on my timeline here, and now I'm going to use my mouse wheel to go frame by frame. All right, so I can really isolate. So right here is where I want my walk sequence to go in. So here's where I'm going to use the razor tool, which, as this is something I asked you for vocab, will basically cut an audio clip or cuts the timeline. All right, so it's an editing tool that cuts your timeline. All right, so now I can move this over. All right, and so I have my title, and this is where my walk sequence is going to go. All right, from there, I am going to find my walk sequence that I made yesterday. All right, it has no background to it, so I can see him walking there, and and then I'll place my picture, my background picture, underneath of it. So I think, where is that? Yep, here it is. So remember, that should be underneath the layer of your walk sequence. That way you can see what's happening there. All right, so I have a couple things that are happening here, which I think are good things to look at because it may happen with yours. All right, so number one, actually, let's get rid of this space. So I'll just right click, do a ripple delete. All right, first thing, I notice my picture changes. All right, so on the full video, the bus I can see more of it, whereas on this one I can't. So I'm guessing I have to scale down the image. Let's just try the easy way. Let's see, scale the frame size. All right, that made it too small. So I'll go to my editing palette and I will make it a little bigger. All right. So it's a little smaller here. I'm going to just scale this up a hair because I see a little bit of black edge around that. So let's see if I can get that to match. All right, that's pretty good. I mean, I see a little bit of difference, but I don't think anybody's really going to, for that half a frame or whatever, you're not going to notice it. All right, so the next thing is talking about getting as we talked about, the scale and the location correct. I don't know if there's rulers in Premiere. Actually, let's see. Because that would make it easier. I don't think there are. I've never really used rulers in here. So I'm just going to eye it up. All right. So if I look, I know he has to come down. So I'm just going to use my motion category and I can move him down. Now let's see. I'm going to use kind of the lines on the sidewalk. Oh, I can see too the sides of his head. He's like up to the tree here. So try to find something in your background that you can use as a reference point. All right, and I'm going to say, so he needs to be a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm going to scale him. Let's see how that looks. All right, looking at the sidewalk, I think the feet are basically in the same spot, but now his head comes a little above the trees, so I'm going to make him a little smaller. All right, that's pretty good, I think, for size. Now, the other thing I notice is that he kind of is cut off at the beginning. So what I can do there is just move the whole movie over. So I'm going to change my position so that if you notice now, it's basically taking that movie clip and now I moved it over, and actually that lines up pretty good with my character even too. So you can use your position to move the whole movie clip up and down, left and right, and then change your size so that now it looks like he walks over and then turns and starts his talking. All right. Um, Now, the thing with my audio is that in order for the text or the speech to line up, I had to trim out this part here. So I have some dead space here. I'm not going to go worry about that because we kind of didn't plan for this in the beginning. If you can get that to be seamless, then that's great. Um, oh, you know what I did though? Actually, that's right. So to compensate for that, what I did was I took my music file, I found the full audio, which is right here. I dragged that onto my stage. All right, and now I should be able to just kind of trim it so that it's only going to play during that portion there. Because otherwise, if they overlap, it's gonna. I think I tested this out. You get like some distortion. So now, if I just go into here and have the audio just playing there, let's see if it lines up. So I heard a little bit of kind of, I don't know, a jump almost, but I don't think that's going to make that much of a difference. Again, you know, this stuff happens so quickly that you don't have to worry about that stuff so much. All right. So that would be getting your walk sequence in there, which is the most important part. All right. Any questions on that portion of that? Because that is a big part of this. Who did I put to sleep already? Anybody? It's like a catch there. If you're asleep, you wouldn't really be talking, right? Hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, so that would be getting your walk sequence into there. As far as animation and titles, all right, so I don't have my credits in here or my the DVC logo. So probably what I would do here is just at the end, that was a little bit long, the credits were hanging out there. So now I'm just going to put my logo in. And you can do this same thing with your own logo if you didn't have it animated. So to animate anything in Premiere, I know it's been a little while, so we're going to go to Effect Control. Actually, I think there's preset animations you might even be able to use. So let's see, Video Effects, Presets. How about we have, you could probably use one of these, Twirl In. Alright, so if you wanted to do a really simple animation, alright, there would be one, or Twirl Out. You could play with some of these other ones if you wanted to, like a mosaic in. Let's see how that looks. I don't know if we're going to see much there. Yeah, there you go. So we have a mosaic and a twirl. Alright, if you wanted to kind of customize it, like I always like when something kind of flies in so it gets bigger. So if you wanted to, but you can use presets. I'm fine with that as long as you have something applied there. It's showing that you can do some kind of animation. And then, but if we wanted to do have it get larger, we would remember turn on the stopwatch for your keyframe. So that's going to establish the starting position. I'll move it ahead, and then I'm just going to scale that to fit. Ooh, that is a horrible image. Bad resolution there, but alright, at least I'll have to fix that with another one. So there would be our logo. I'm not saying, I didn't say you have to animate the logo, but if that was your own logo, that would be a way to animate that. I thought I had my final animated logo in here, but I don't think I do. But I would just drag that onto here also. Alright, Oh, so we talked about using the razor tool. We talked about animating for audio. All right, that was the other thing that I wanted you all to be have a little refresher on. Couple ways you can adjust audio. You can go to your effect panel. All right, and you can adjust the decibels. Take a look over here at your audio level when it's playing. Oh, I don't have any audio here, so I got to go to a different part. Take a look at your lines, all right? They should be kind of in this green to yellow area. If it's down here, then obviously it's going to be too low. So I can come in here, I can select my audio, and I can increase them. So just by going to level, it's probably going to really be bad now, distorted.
Sour, and I'm the principal here.
Actually, that's not bad. You don't really want it to go in the red.
Are you looking for an education and a hands-on trade?
So it's doing it a little bit, but
Maybe.
it's not too bad.
I like to make stuff.
All right. The other way to adjust audio is if you kind of just expand your layers, you can kind of fine tune. So right here, it actually, this level is indicating your audio level. So if I went and decreased this, notice it actually brought my level down here. So it's just two ways of doing that. You can also put in keyframes. So if you want your audio to drop at a certain level and then come back up, you would just, which I think I did in here. So I have a keyframe here. You can establish another one by, where's that thing? You have to expand this a little more. Well, if you use the pen tool, you can just put in keyframes. I always like to kind of make like a ramp, a visual ramp, and then you can just decrease it for this point in here. Because if you only have 2 points, then it's just going to lower the whole thing. Alright, so you really need to have kind of an inside one, and then that way you can just lower it for that section. Alright, so that's our audio, and I think that's all the topics that we were talking about today to review. Alright, any questions on any of that? Repeats, if I went too quickly on anything?